Caio Ibelli now taking on Julian Wilson in round 5, heat 2. For a heat that decides who takes on John Florence in the quarterfinals.
Oh, it's going to be insane.
They had to wake him up in his hotel room for the sudden death surf-off for the title. As this one gets going, Julian Wilson just up and out, so priority right back with Caio Ibelli.
Yeah, maybe a little mistake there for Julian Wilson. Tough though, you know, you kind of got to have a look at these waves, Joe. You know, sometimes they open up for you, sometimes they don't.
Julian tries again, packs another closeout, just trying to reset their formula for the start of this heat. Just incomplete ride so far. Caio just wanted to battle for the start of this heat and just send himself over the falls during the break.
Yeah, have a look at that. I mean, there's so much energy in this ocean, Joe. It kind of, when you have a wipeout like that, and Julian as well, you can see just taking off super late. You know, this was just a Hail Mary move, but what it does is you get to feel the energy of the ocean, and it makes you feel alive. You know, sort of wraps you around and rattles you a little bit, and you come up and you go, wow, how was that? You know, and sort of sometimes even a wipeout in Hawaii can be very exhilarating.
And that first footage was captured by the legendary Bruce Brown, Surfing Holidays. And Bruce kind of gives Mike Diffenderfer credit for comparing the waves to a construction site, saying they look like pipelines of cement coming through. Julian up and out, still incomplete, but trying to stay active here. Meanwhile, Caio Ibelli on the move with priority. Locks in, driving hard, deep on this one in backdoor with no exit. Getting injured and trying to surf through that injury when we return to Jeffreys Bay. And still pulling into closeouts here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's not scared, that's for sure. He'll go for it. If there's a glimmer of hope in Caio's mind, he's in 100%, all in, and you can see him trying to make that wave. Looks a little bit too fast there for Caio Ibelli.
To take on John in the quarterfinals. Having a look now, Wilson holding priority will lock in. Nice and deep. Does he have enough speed to move? The wave spits without him.
So close yet again, Joe. His guy's just a little bit too deep, which is kind of interesting because when you've got priority, you can kind of pick and choose where you want to sit, how this wave is structured. But Julian Wilson, you can see how deep he is right there. Maybe another foot or two to his left and he would have come out of this one. But unfortunate for Julian, a 1.73 could have been an excellent score.
It's a very interesting heat. You see Julian Wilson with 6 attempts to get a completion. 13 on the clock to decide that quarterfinal with John Florence. Already a round ahead of Medina. Gabe coming up next against the greatest of all time. Having a look, pulling under the hood as Ibelli needs to make this. Stretching it out, and Ibelli gets the completion back in the pit for more. Ends up going down in the bonus section, but his first make, he'll be taking the lead now at 12:30 to go. The Caio's surfing so well in the barrel. His favorite thing to do in the whole world. How'd you like his entry into this wave?
Well, that's classic situation for backdoor. That's exactly what you want to do, and it put him in the absolute perfect position. So he took off and sort of almost faded towards pipeline and then slid into it. No bottom turn whatsoever. Held his line, kept his board nice and high, really compact. Came flying out the end. So great tube riding skills there from Caio Ibelli, just ducking under the lip and disappeared for quite some time. So this is going to be relatively impressive for the judges. Definitely the best score of the heat. And then try to get back in the tube there. Bit of a mistake at the end, but all the damage was done.
Caio now finding that rhythm. There's that same technique. Fades the takeoff. He's deep in the barrel. But that section lands on his head. He is waiting to hear the score from his previous wave. We'll see him into the lead with 11 minutes on the clock. The most successful at the Pipe Masters with 7 titles. That's in 9 minutes. Having a look now, Wilson needs to make this wave to get the lead. Driving through the end section. Wilson asking for the 10 from the panel.
This is far from over, Joe.
Julian Wilson fired up. Ton of time in the pit. Opening section was nice and wide open and trimmed it beautifully. Let's take another look.
Yeah, this was just perfect. Nice and low. And just driving through that section. I mean, we kind of written him off, and then all of a sudden, I mean, that's what he did to win the Pipe Masters, Joe. That's exactly the performance that Julian's got to put on right here to get through this heat. I mean, I kind of read him off in a way. But Julian, let's have a look. This is going to be the telltale sign. Look how low he gets. Drive, drive, drive. Now he's on that foam ball. That's the tricky section. Drives through that. Manages to keep the high line and signals to the judges. Give me the 10. We haven't seen one yet. Look at that. Beautiful positioning from Julian. Driving through that barrel right there. That was the critical section. Came up and over that without any problems whatsoever. And you can see that blue jersey, those pink board shorts coming out of that one. And there is your score.
A 9.73 for Julian Wilson, asking for the 10 and getting very close. It's been pretty tough to get a 10 ever since Jeffreys Bay, where we saw about 8 10-point rides. But what a comeback wave, quickly in the lead over Caio Ibelli. Wilson now feeling that rhythm. He'll look at every wave that's coming through to back it up now. Trying to get rid of a 1.73 because he knows he can put Caio in combo quickly. Let's bring up that worm app to go extra slow motion on one of the best rides of the contest.
Okay, first of all, a steep drop. So you can see Julian up the front of the board. He's disengaging those fins just a little bit. He's trying to use that front section, get that rail engaged straight away. You can almost see the fins popping out of the water as he drives through that section. That's the critical part of the wave right there. That section kind of folded down. There was a lot of white water inside the barrel. Julian navigated perfectly to come out of that tube. And what a feeling for Julian Wilson. 9.73 by absolutely dominating, by coming from behind, by against all odds.
Having a look now, pulling in is Wilson. Fresh off the 9.73, so he'll just keep channeling that positive energy. Quickly just replacing a 1.73. Applying more pressure on Caio Ibelli. 2:30 to go.
Wow. Well, what a heat. Kind of started off with 1s and 2s, and now we're starting to see these guys find their spot in the lineup. Good move there from Julian just to better that 1.73 and put a little bit more pressure on Caio. 5.84 required.
So many great highlights and memories behind us, but it all comes to right now. Julian Wilson eliminates Caio Ibelli, and the former Pipe Master will take on John Florence in the second quarterfinal.